permission here. It's in my local area of West Kent, and it's 17 acres of cut hay. There's a stream which is fed from about 300 yards away, which emanates near to some ponds where there's a 16th century moated manor, timber framed hall house. So the hay's just been cut. It's the first cutting of the year, and there'll be another one, I assume, in August. And the ground is extremely dry, so only time will tell as to how hard the ground is to dig. Here's the upstream portion, upstream of the permission, completely dried out. 300 yards further up, and it winds through the woods, goes to a series of ponds near to the moated farmhouse that I mentioned. And the river eventually goes into the river belt, spelled B-E-U-L-T, and that is a Kentish river emerging at Rochester. Alright, this is the downstream portion of the stream. Been straightened into a drainage ditch after it passes under the road. As you can see, it's completely dried up. I've had the old policeman's foot, this foot, my digging foot, since about May. I believe it's quite common amongst detectorists. So any absence is partly due to that and partly due to the hardness of the ground. Today we'll see what we can find. Right, the first signals are 14, 11, 12, 13, 14 max depth. Alright, it's there at the bottom of that one. So it's saying it's here. Sounds like a sort of shotty type of signal. What's it going to be? It's just a bit of aluminium, unfortunately, or yeah, that's a piece of aluminium, unfortunately. Right, imperative to fill one's hole in completely, as you see there, hopefully. Right, number 2, 18 to 20. Right, the first thing to come out of that hole is a bit of iron down there at about 10 inches. Right, I can't believe that's the actual artefact, so I'll keep digging. I'm afraid I'm going to pass on this one. Have a listen. 29:30. It's alright that way. It's a bit broken, and I've not got to it down at over a foot there. There's iron tone in that axis too. Difficult call, but I've got to get on, and it's going to make a massive crater in the field. I might come back to it. Right, this one's a 13. Right, it's in the side wall, just down there. I don't know if you can see. I think it's going to be iron, because the tone dropped to iron after I took as I opened the hole up, so I'm thinking it's going to be a piece of iron, but I might be wrong. What is it? No, it's a piece of lead. That's a piece of lead. Well, that's always good to find. Can't give a date to lead pieces easily unless they've got something on them, but that's been wrapped around a piece of hemp or something, I would imagine. Right, this was a 9 or a 10. Quite a nice compact sound too. Don't know if I can see something now. Yeah, what have we got? Copper something. Well, I have no idea what that is. It says window cleaning or something. I don't know if you can see that. I'll put a picture up of it at the end. something to do with window cleaning maybe. It's sort of copper alloy anyway. Sheet copper. Right, this is another low number, 8 or 9. I saw something, another piece of sheet copper something. Serrated edges, I think. Right, don't know what that is. It looks like shrapnel, but it's not. I think it's a broken piece of broken hacksaw blade or some such thing. Right, this one's a 21. 20% on the depth stake, so something modern. Sounds a bit like a pound coin to me. Right, there we come. Yeah, right in the top couple of inches, I'd imagine. Maybe a ring pull or something. Ghastly. That's in there. Yeah, it's a bottle lid. JG. JG. Right, this was a 14 or 15 out of that hole. See something there. It's a piece of pewter. No, I think it's just lead. Piece of lead. Right, this was a 19. Sounds like a coin. It's in. It's not very deep. We can see the top and the bottom of the clod there. So that's about 8 or 9 inches top to bottom, and whatever it is has fallen out. Oh dear. Oh, I can see a coin. Yeah, of some sort, I think. Was that a button? No, it's a button. Little button. Oh well, didn't get to see how deep it was, but probably about 4 or 5 inches. I've had a few signals like these. Take a listen. Sort of vague 17 and 18s deep. There's a slight tinge of iron tone, and I've got down to sort of 10 inches, and you wonder, the ground doesn't get any softer, it gets harder at the moment, so it's a case of, do I want to keep going? I've had about 3 or 4 signals like this, which I've had to abort, unfortunately, thinking that they're large iron objects down at a foot or more. I'm pretty sure it is iron. Have a listen. Just that not knowing, because sometimes you can have an iron object near a non-ferrous object. Right, first pretty decent signal. There's a high number though, 28. I think it's got some depth to it though, so we'll give it a dig. Right, I'm slightly off centre. I'm still showing 29. Bear in mind this scale goes from -9 to 40 on the new Vanquish, the Vanquish 360. I think it goes from, or 460 or 560, it goes from something like -18 to 100. So I have double the numbers to get the same values on the new version of the Vanquish. Oh, gosh. I've got a silver, I think, but not that old, is it? That's a high number. That's rather nice. Right in the middle of the field. It's a Victoria, and it's in good condition. I haven't scratched it for once, despite the hard ground. And it was down at about 5 inches. That is pretty nice. I'll put you onto my other camera in a second. There she is, Vale Head. So turn of the century. I think that's a shilling. Right, don't know if you can see that. It's an 1896 shilling, so it's full silver, and that's in superb condition. Oh, sorry about the wind. Right bang in the middle of the field. A bit tarnished on the reverse, but yeah, you can see 1 shilling there. That's a great find. That's made my day. Give me a bit of impetus, a bit more motivation. I'm going to have a break and then see if we can find something else decent. Alright, this is quite deep, 15, don't know what it's going to be. That's a piece of iron. There you go, down at about 10 or 12 inches. Right, piece of iron. Right, another coin light signal, it was 23. I can see something circular or vaguely circular down there. Ah, spoon bowl. So he's found a spoon handle, and now what I believe is a spoon. Or is it? Or is it something else? That might be a horse brass. It's got attachments at either end. So no, less of a spoon and more of a horse brass. This one's a little bit like the silver shilling. Or that slightly lower number, 23. Could that be a coin? Right, it's deeper, so it's more likely not to be a coin, something larger. Right, whatever it is out of the hole. That pile there, it sounds like a coin, but sorry, here. I see something iron there. Oh, there it is. What is that? That's a button. Possibly quite an interesting button. I don't know whether that's Victorian or modern. Well, Victorian is modern, but I mean 20th century. But it looks like it might be silver plated. Don't know. I think it's quite nice. I think it could be Victorian, but if not, at least it's silver plated anyway. Just found this 50 caliber cartridge case from the Second World War, not far from this overgrown pond. So there are ponds all over this area, and you can see it's completely dry. Some of them are marl pits, some are iron excavations, but so I'd say most of them are for watering animals, but look, it's completely dry. Right, I'm going to attempt to go through to the 10-acre field. This one is about 7. I'm going to go through there in a moment. She comprises 2 fields, so probably about 7 and 3 acres there. This is the pond on the eastern side of the permission. There is actually water in this one. I'll take you through. Hopefully you can see. So there is actually some water in this one. Always interesting areas to detect. As I say, they predate the ditches, which are straightened out, part portions of the river that define the shape of the various fields here. Right, whatever this was, it was about 25 on the scale, and it's down at about 8 or 9, 8 inches maybe a bit less. Problem is, I'm afraid of breaking it or scratching it, because the soil, the deeper you go, it gets harder and harder, unfortunately. I'll come back to you in a moment. Well, that was fortunate. It turns out to be another, that's a 20mm Wartime, Second World War bullet case. Right, 25, another bullet case. Seems to be dotted along the tree line here, around the edge of the field. 20mm. I thought it would be another 20mm machine gun bullet cartridge. It's about 19 or 20, I think. And old halfpenny. Don't know which one immediately. We'll give it a clean. Right, an old, well, George the Sixth wartime ship halfpenny. There you go, under this oak tree here. So probably 1940s, 1950s. And that's the second coin of the day. Far from the Golden Hind or ship halfpenny. Being serenaded at the moment. Yep, there we are. Pretty much sure that's the same as the last one. These days guys don't use these balloons because they end up all over the countryside. What does it say on it? Oh, Chelsea Football Club, RIP. In memory. We all love. I miss you. Oh, right, it's okay, I'll take it. Maybe I won't because it's a memorial, but it's a bit literary, isn't it? Right, about 5 hours detecting, 40 finds in total. I've got 6 cartridges, World War II anti-aircraft machine gun bullet cartridges. This is a 1/2 inch or 50 cal, and the others are 20mm. The larger 20mm ones would have had a revolving seat and legs, which sometimes got towed behind a vehicle or was placed on the back of a vehicle. Slightly heavier than the 50 cal, where the gunner was not usually seated on a revolving seat. Anyway, this I didn't film, and as usual it's ironic that the one find that one doesn't film sometimes turns out to be the most interesting, and it's a Triffid late 17th century, 1600s Charles II era spoon or fork handle. That's the Triffid design. That was down about 10 inches, it was quite deep. So there may be deeper signals in this permission that warrant investigation. I have the 2 that I said were ship halfpennies, these 2 coppers. One's actually George V and the other is George VI. So George VI ship halfpenny went through till about 1967, I believe. And this one's a George V. And obviously 2 bits of silver, really excellent version of a 1890s shilling. A shilling would have bought you about 3 pints of beer, or maybe 2 or 3 loaves of bread at that time. It's pure silver, there's no admixture with nickel like in the 1930s versions. An airgun bullet, I don't know what this is, it's got serrated edges on both sides. I'll post a picture up, obviously, some load of rubbish effectively. This ring is not a ring, I believe it's an olive from a plumbing application of some sort. Would have been nice if it was ring, and various bits of lead. Right, that's it in summary. Probably worth a revisit when the ground's a bit softer, because you get to 6 inches on that pasture and it's rock solid. You run the risk of breaking whatever it is, and you have to work with gloves because you end up with blisters basically on the back of your hand. So, oh, and a Victorian button, didn't mention that. I'll post the pictures up for you now, and if you'd be so kind, I'd be grateful for a subscription. There's no cost or any kind of obligation, it's just to improve my viewership, and if you could be able to put a like on, that would be well and good too. But if you don't worry. I do this not for numbers of watchers, I do it simply because it's an interest and it's a record of all the things I find. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll look forward to seeing you on the next.